Welcome, everybody, to the very last Rens training camp journal for the 2019 season. Now, this episode was recorded right after the second practice with the Dolphins. I'm not releasing it, obviously, till after the Dolphins game has been played because Brent Allen, my co-host of the Pewtercast, sat down and he watched the defense. He was disappointed in the defense in the Steelers game. He got there to practice. He watched a couple of guys pop for him, and what do you know? Lo and behold, a couple of those guys showed up in the game. There's also some conversations that Brent had with Vernon Hargraves, and a little bit he talked with Justin Watson too. So all of that coming up more, or now, or more. More of that now. Coming up now.
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. Well, you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore.
All right, Brent, it is officially the end of training camp, and we got to see day 2 of Dolphins versus Buccaneers. Our plan going in was for you to watch the Buccaneers defense, for me to watch the Buccaneers offense. I know you're a little disappointed from what the Bucs did, in their first preseason game, but this was sort of your first, other live action, a whole full practice where you could, see the ones go, and luckily enough, it was against different competition. So we'll start there. What'd you think?
Yeah, this defense, I'm excited for what they could do.
Mm-hmm.
What mostly has me really, really excited is hearing people like Rondé Barber and other people being like, yeah, we've only seen like 5 or 10% of the playbook so far. We're not really scratching the surface. As far as practice goes, though, got to see a lot of the ones, but they did rotate out quite a bit. There was a lot of the 2s and the 3s, so it wasn't like It wasn't they're like, hey, here are the ones practicing, and then here's are the 2s and 3s. Like they were still doing the rotating in and out thing. But overall, I'm pleased. I have questions, quite honestly, about the quality and the caliber of the Miami Dolphins and their offensive line and their units. To go, was this really a good team to be practicing against to make yourself better? But I mean, you get the whole there's parity in the league,
Yikes,
and
Jesus,
there were times when our defensive line just demolished their offensive line in practice today.
Yeah.
Utterly demolished. It was also a little bit hard, though, and I think this is going to qualify just about everything I'm going to say today. They weren't tackling a lot today.
No, they were, and they didn't tackle a lot yesterday either.
Yeah, it was a lot of pro-pop.
Pro-pop, thud hit, whatever you want to call it.
Right. A few times you saw somebody take down somebody else, but mostly it was just sort of the pro-pop. So there's a lot of, there were instances where, Fitzpatrick or Rosen, the quarterbacks for the Dolphins, would complete a pass and somebody would take it into the end zone, except for the fact that in a live game situation, the quarterback would have been sacked.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins fans who were here, which there was actually quite a few, they'd get all excited and scream and shout. And I'm like, yeah,
okay.
I'm going to take that away from you.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to piss on your parade here.
2nd and 8, or 2nd and 18, I mean.
Right. So, overall, I'm excited to see what they can do. I want to see the full playbook. I want to see the ones really get after it, and I want to see. I don't care so much about the 2s and the 3s, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You want to see the San Francisco game?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's what we said yesterday. Skip the rest of camp. Skip the rest of preseason. Let's just get to the season.
Right. I think Bruce Arians actually said in his presser today, right now it would be easy for me to cut down to 61. I'm pretty sure he said that.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear in the scrum, and I'm not trying to get up front because, I'm letting those guys do their job because that's what they do for a living. They get paid for it.
Right.
So sometimes it's hard to hear, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say that. So, Bruce Arians is sort of aware. He's ready to.
Yeah.
But individual players.
Yeah. So the first player that really that stood out, a guy that you had on your list the other day, Vernon.
Oh, yeah.
He really, had a great practice. I got to talk to him a little bit after practice as well.
How'd that go?
It was good. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But one of the things that sort of stood out to me about this was I just realized this he's still playing the right side.
Yeah, they don't switch.
Yeah, and they don't. And,
Mm-mm.
you remember like a couple years, for the last bunch of years when Grimes has been here, Grimes is playing the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, that's the better side, and then the right side's kind of the weaker side. And there was even a game when Grimes was out and Vernon subbed in for him over on the left side and did really well that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was 2 years ago, maybe 3 now at this point, to be quite honest. He's still on the right side. I did ask him about that, just to see, and he said it's not a big deal. I could play either side, but I prefer the right side.
Okay.
So totally, I don't want to say they're putting him there because it's his preference. That's where he prefers to play, though, and apparently that's where the coaches want him. So it works.
Well, yay. Who else popped for you?
Vernon did. Let's talk about defensive line, because I was watching the drills and stuff that were happening there for defensive line.
Right.
People that stood out to me on the defensive line drills, Nacho.
Yeah.
Our man Nacho.
Yeah.
He really, he was not being nice to those guys.
High effort player.
He really is.
Yeah.
And I remember he came in mid-season last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was inactive for many games last year.
Most.
Most of the games that he was here.
Remember, we were deep last year at the defensive line. We thought we were more talented, but we were deep. Remember, we were talking about we have two pretty good. Our second string defensive line was
another start. That's what we thought.
Not another start. That's what you said.
Yeah.
But it was still It was it's a lot better than this second string defensive line.
Sure.
But so Nacho got pushed back on that, but now he's sort of he's slotted in the number 2 position on the interior defensive line and the second stringers and when you watch him and watch the defensive line, he's one of those guys that he's a high effort guy and he gets things done. He doesn't always win his reps. He's not Sue out there.
Right.
But he looks good and as a fan it makes you like, oh, I want to watch that guy. I want to see more of him.
Well, it was enough. I saw enough out of him in drills that when they went to their 11-on-11s and
7-on-7s.
Well, it wasn't so. It was 9-on-9s.
Okay.
That they were doing, and they still had some of the interior guys in. I was looking out for him.
Okay.
I really was. I wanted to see what he looked like in actual game situation rather than just drills. So he was one. Oh, by the way, Trevor Sikkema, also good friend of the show. He tweeted out, I saw earlier today, that hey, when it comes to the 53-man roster, this is a guy to watch. He could make the team.
Yeah, and the other one was Ledbetter. Someone I've been talking about.
Right. Now, Ledbetter didn't do much for me today.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a guy that I noticed a ton. I do know, or at least I believe he got injured at some point during the day. I think he was our only injury for the day, so don't fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it was. Also, Devontae Bond.
Oh, yeah?
He was playing pretty vicious today, and about as vicious as you can in a pro pop situation.
If you could equate Devontae Bond's play to an animal, what would it be?
An aardvark.
Oh, a rabbit aardvark, though.
Yeah. One who is going after his. Have you ever seen an aardvark? They move and they get around and they push their people out of the way.
Have you ever seen an aardvark?
Absolutely not. Have I never? Maybe in a zoo once when I was 10.
Have you ever seen an aardvark?
But it's a funny word to say.
It is.
No, but Devontae Bond, he really the
aardvark.
He was coming around the end and crashing in and beating his guy, and it's enough that I was like, wow, he looks really good, and then I had to sit back and go, maybe it's their O-line.
Yeah, who's he going against?
Right. But also outside of that were your boy Patrick O'Connor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he had a pretty good...
He has not popped for me at camp at all.
No?
No. He's just a high-effort guy, but, he rarely wins. He tries real hard.
Yeah. Oh, no, I saw him eat somebody's lunch today during drills. This was during drills.
Right.
I have to admit I didn't necessarily see him when they got to the 11-on-11s. He didn't stand out for me there, which is actually where I guess it really matters in camp, or certainly when you get to the game, you're in an 11-on-11 situation.
Yeah.
So there's that. A couple of guys that did not stand out, or specifically stood out in a negative way for me.
Ooh.
This guy that we can't pronounce his last name, Hugin.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
I think he's an other.
Yeah, hopefully I never have to say his name again.
Okay.
Stevie T.
Yeah.
Was not looking good.
Yeah.
I know we just re-signed him with the Vea injury, and hopefully as long as it takes us to get Vea back, that's how long he'll be on the team. Because he just, he looks like a guy who's been out of football for a while and never really got a start.
Yeah, he was
He's hit the hot dog cart a few times.
Yeah.
Since the last time we've seen him.
So Stevie T. And then a draft pick from this year, Beckner Jr.
I thought he had some good reps.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, today was like the only day that he sort of popped off for me. Like, oh, there he is. You know?
Oh, really?
Like, today was the only day.
Because I watched him get demolished a few times.
Okay.
He really did. Like, he just couldn't. He couldn't do anything against whatever second-rate offensive line they had over there. So, but yeah. So those were kind of the guys that stood out for me in drills, and certainly they were the guys that I was watching. But another person who stood out to me, it's a guy we've not talked about hardly at all on the show, but was Sue.
Yeah.
Sue really, like, I can't wait to see this guy in a live game situation, because obviously he's a veteran. You know, he'll go hard, he'll do what he needs to do, but, you know, being in game and being in practice are going to be two different things for this guy.
Yeah, especially when you're pushing, your 10th, 11th year, 12th year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's on the bad side of 30, I think, at this point. So, but anyway, he had there was a run that the Dolphins had. I want to say this was an 11-on-11 drill.
Sure.
The Dolphins ran it in from the end zone. All the Dolphins fans were erupting and clapping and whatever. But what they didn't see was Sue, who had kind of gotten lost in the skirmish of the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got lost in the trench. But then all of a sudden you see their running back grab the ball, and he turns up and runs through the line, and all of a sudden Sue does this spin move and comes out from the trench and grabs it gets that pro pop. Like,
right.
He would have had him.
Right.
But they're not tackling today, so he ran off into the...
He keeps running, yes.
Yeah. And the Dolphins fans erupted, and I'm like, I don't think so. But I was just sitting there thinking, and I don't mean to belabor an old point,
Your
but
fans are stupid.
a defensive tackle who tracks the ball and reaches out to grab a running back who's running past him. Go figure.
Yeah.
They can do that.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, Sue hasn't had his pectorals ripped twice.
I don't care. This is football.
All right.
A couple
Pecs or triceps or whatever ever happened to that guy. But
and along with Sue, one of the other things I noticed was while Bo Allen and Will Golston were rotating out with each other while the ones were in, Sue never came out.
Okay.
He was in there the entire time. So I'm kind of an old school guy when it comes to stuff like that. I like that. Like, sure, rotate out, get your rest, whatever, but, you know, keep your best people on the field is what I say. So.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's, you know, obviously it was a plan today, but I'm not sure if that's sort of like the plan going forward or kind of the lack of depth, you know.
Right.
Or it's like we're going to play the ones, but Golston and Allen are both considered a one.
Right.
So they're, you know, swapping them into to get first team reps.
Right. So that was my defensive line. When we moved back a little bit,
sure.
I noted today, by the way, the refs, although they were here, they weren't calling a whole lot.
Okay.
Like, they did a few, but there were some egregious penalties that I saw that the refs just let the guys play. So I'm not really sure why they were here. Buchanan, let's talk about this guy.
All right.
This guy's speed is huge. He is fast.
Oh, yeah?
And he is all over the field. But this is the first time I've had a chance to observe him in a longer format than 3 plays on a preseason game where they don't keep the camera on him. This guy's all over the field, and he plays like he doesn't actually have a position. Like, I know we're confused about this money backer, safety, linebacker.
Joker.
Like, it's like they're putting 10 guys out on the field for defense, and then Dayon just go out there and do whatever.
Yeah.
And he is back and forth. He's blitzing. He's on the line. He's in the backfield. He's dropping into coverage. He's in people's faces, and he's forcing them out of bounds. He's tackling them. He's breaking up passes. This guy is going to be a fun one to watch, I think, this year.
Defensive MVP?
Maybe not, but he could.
Early?
He certainly could be in the running for the Pewtercast Award for free agent signing of the year.
Okay.
That early. I don't even say dark horse. I think he's an early, perhaps favorite, potentially.
Okay.
For that particular role. But we got to talk about the guy who really might just get the defensive MVP of the year, Devin White.
Okay.
Now, Devin White's a guy who, for me, so far this preseason has been disappointing, mostly because of the lack of things that I've heard about him, coming out of practice.
Okay.
He's not a guy that anyone's really been focusing on, at least in their conversations. I think a lot of it's been like, yeah, Devin White's been good. He's calling the defense, and then they move on and talk about other people.
Right.
But I want to talk about Devin White for a second.
Sure.
He had a sack on Rosen. I think this is why he stood out to me. He had a sack on Rosen, and he broke through the middle of the line. It wasn't just he snuck around the outside or anything like that. Like he went straight through. I think it was the guard in the center, and he gets right up into Rosen's face. Of course, they're not allowed to tackle. They're not tackling at all today anyway. But they're really not allowed to tackle the quarterbacks.
Or even touch the quarterback.
Right. And he gets right up in his face and just goes, woo!
Thank you for that.
And it startled Rosen. It was really funny to watch, but it just I personally loved seeing that. It was quite humorous. The Dolphins people, for whatever reason, I think I was sitting in the Dolphins media area.
Both sort of the media areas, all Dolphins media areas.
Were they?
Like it's because they're new. They don't really know they can move around.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of like, oh, I'm supposed to sit here. Here's a spot for me. Okay, and they just all just sat and stayed.
But but also like right in front of us was all Dolphins fans and everything. So I start laughing and cackling at this, and I get like 8 people turn around looking at me, going, "Y'all didn't see that." But Devin White looked good. I was watching him quite a bit. He really is leading that defense out there. He's telling them what to do. The guys are listening to him. He's telling them, hey, hurry up, get over here, do what you need to do. And the guys are falling in line with him. So, from a visual aspect, somebody who can't be in the room or be in the headset, just from what you can observe from the stands, looks really good. I like it.
All right.
I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So, Anthony Nelson, was he one of our draft picks this year? Yeah. He had a pretty good pop today.
Nope.
Saved a touchdown.
No.
And do what?
No.
Yes, he did.
Brent, he's not practicing.
Okay, then somebody else named Nelson. Is there somebody else named Nelson?
There is.
Okay.
There's a linebacker.
Okay, so somebody else named Nelson.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good pop.
Okay. Yeah, that was he's a 4-string other, I think, middle linebacker or something like that.
Yeah, and just to prove that point, as soon as he got that and saved the touchdown, he was very, very excited.
Yes, he was.
He was like, I just made the team. No, you didn't.
Not sure that's what he was saying either.
Right. But he was very excited. Very, very, very excited. He might have done a jig. So, and then the last note that I have of things that I saw today from the defense, Vernon had yet another pick, almost. Popped into his hands and popped right out.
We got to get Vernon on the jugs machine.
We do.
We do. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You feel like they've finally gotten Vernon sort of to take football seriously. They've gotten through to him, and if that happened, sometime after his rookie year, right away, or it took until now, but with his injuries and from 2 years ago, and of course the big one last year, we really haven't got a gauge on it. But if you're going to take football seriously and as your career and try to be the best you can be, get on the effing jugs machine, because that is like the 20th interception he's dropped in practice. He's made a bunch.
Yeah.
He's made it, but I mean, he drops more than he makes.
Okay.
2-to-1, 3-to-1.
Right. And I can confirm he did not go on the jugs machine after practice today.
I've never seen him there. Never seen him there.
I did ask him a little bit about that after practice. I got to catch up with him. And I said, hey, you seem to be having a whole lot of fun this camp. Some of the reports are from other players that the defense is feeding off of your energy. Are you feeling that? And, where's that energy coming from? And his answer was basically, he's like, bro, I haven't played for 2 years.
Yeah.
He's like, I sat all of last year. He's like, while I was around, I haven't been able to play. He's like, I'm just excited to be able to play.
Yeah.
So,
anything else from your old little walk and talk with VH3 there?
I did ask him if he felt that the extra hitting and stuff that they've been having in camp this year is going to prepare him better for the season, maybe even avoid the injury again this year. And his answer, it was very he's like, I don't, nobody plans for an injury. I don't know that,
I don't know.
I don't know that
maybe,
it can help prevent an injury. He's like, but it's definitely helped me prepare for the season better.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
you also talked to your somebody you said was a really nice guy in the last pod.
Yeah. He's so nice. He's so sweet.
Number 4 wide receiver.
Yes.
In Stone.
Yeah.
Did you see him at all today catching balls?
No, because I was watching the defense.
Your total defense today. Yeah. Of course, we're talking about
Justin Watson.
Yes.
This was, I got to talk to Justin Watson last year.
The Mr. Nice Guy Award.
Do what now?
the Mr. Nice Guy Award.
Yes, and I think this was more of like my part 2 follow up to that with him.
Yeah. Hey, remember me from almost a year ago?
He did actually. He remembered me from last year, which was cool.
Well,
so
yeah.
I am not a easily forgettable person.
No,
I don't think.
you are not.
Tend to stand out in people's minds sometimes. But it was. I just kind of asked him kind of some fluff stuff like, "Hey, how's second year going for you?" Asked him about his brother, getting to watch him up in Heinz Field and what that meant for him up there, and
right.
I guess that's where he's from. That's where the family's from up there.
He's from Heinz Field?
Yes. He grew up on the 3rd-yard line.
Oh, well, yeah, it's the best place.
Yeah, that's why I have my seats there. Gosh. No, but he talked to him a little bit about what the difference is between last year and this year for him and what he's been noticing. And, and his thing just says there's such a difference from the rookie year to a sophomore year.
Yeah.
And he's like, the big thing that he's been told from his coaches, so this is him relaying to me what his coaches have said, is that he has taken all of the right steps.
Okay.
Now, I didn't ask him what those steps were specifically,
right.
but I did ask him.
Get open, catch the ball.
Right. Don't drop it.
Don't drop it.
But I did ask him what I was like, so you've hit those steps. What would be the next step for you?
Uh-huh.
Like, what's that next step? Have you identified that yet? Do you know where you go? And he said, the deep ball.
Huh?
Getting the connection with the deep ball.
Yep.
So,
I'm not sure exactly how a receiver does that. I mean,
I think you just got to get out and do it.
No, but I mean, it's not in their hands. It's like it's not his fault that
Well, a little bit of it, like
I think
getting down there and getting up for the ball or being in the right spot.
Oh,
getting the speed to where he needs to be.
No, I think you should run as fast as you possibly can. Like, I don't think you should adjust your speed to the quarterback. I think it's the quarterback's job to give you the ball.
It's true. I did see, though, when they were outside earlier in practice, because we did this in and out thing with practice today, but they were on the outside spot.
Today's practice sponsored by In-N-Out Burger.
They could have. But I was watching some of the receivers with the quarterbacks, and almost all of them had to slow down their run towards the end so that they didn't outrun the ball.
On the deep ball?
Yeah, they all did. So, anyway, that was pretty much my day with what I got to see and who I got to talk to. How about you? Well,
the same people showed up on offense.
Go figure.
Yeah, wow.
That was actually, I kept looking over the offense a little bit because my eyes tend to naturally be drawn there. And I was just really thinking, like, we were fine on offense last year. We're going to be fine on offense this year. It's the same guys.
It's the same
thing.
It's the same guys. I guess the biggest interesting note I could pull out is when the twos came in, because they ran sort of this situational football drill where it was like Tampa Bay's offense against Miami's defense, but instead of being an opposite end of the field, they were the only they were the only people on the field, and they were trying to drive the ball down, I think, in a 2-minute situation and and try to put it in the end zone. And the drill was they were down by more than 3, so there was no, it was only 2 seconds left, it's okay, we'll kick a field goal and tie it up or win it. Like, that wasn't it. It's like you had to score. But when the twos came out, it was Ungambwable Dare.
Oh, yeah.
Ungambwable. Damn it. I always say it almost correct the first time. Ungambwable. So, but it was him instead of, like, Ellington. But it kind of makes sense because, I guess Ellington is viewed as more of a third down back, and the Rojo Barber are both considered first string backs, at this point. Bruce Arians has said as much. But then, the 3 receivers out there were Andre Johnson, the guy I like, the nicest man in the world, Justin Watson.
Yes.
And then Bubba Wilson. So if, we talked a little about last pot, if we keep 6, that 6th spot would be, it looks like it's for me, I think right now it's sort of a Bubba Wilson, Scotty Miller. And, I'm sure most people have heard by now that Bruce Arians has pretty much told Scotty Miller through the press, which is something he's done. He did it in McCoy, in the Arizona meetings. He did it with Vernon in the beginning. He's done it with Justin Evans. Now he's doing it with Scotty Miller, talking through the press about get your butt out to practice.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, the offense looked like the offense, Sometimes they looked unstoppable. Sometimes Jameis threw some picks. I think B.A. said 2 of those. And I'm not even sure how many he threw. It wasn't like, it was like, oh, my God, so many picks. But he said like receiver ran around route or something else. Like 2 of them he took the blame off of Jameis for. But yeah, the run game looked good. Rojo looked good. Peyton Barber looked good. The offense looked fine. The offensive line was fine. But as you're watching that this is when it starts to come into play. One, there's not that many question marks on offense.
No, there's not.
Yeah, we're going to move the ball.
Yeah,
we will put points on the board, and then exactly how
it will go to Mike Evans, it will go to Chris Godwin, it will go to O.J. Howard, Cam Brayton there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then some
Barber and Rojo are going to get it.
Yeah.
So it was just it was like sort of like a dress rehearsal for the season, first game of the season for the offense. But then, how good is this Miami's defense?
That's the question. I mean, it's the same question I had on the other side.
Yeah. If the blue chippers that they have, like they're on the defense.
Yeah.
They've got Mika Fitzpatrick, who's sort of a nickel. He kind of plays the Buchanan role a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of where they need him. They have a tier.
Is he the guy that tried to brand
I don't
the
know.
Fitzmagic thing last year?
Oh yeah.
And so now you got both Fitzpatricks on the team.
Yeah. He was like tried to copyright it, and he found out that Fitzpatrick already had it copyrighted. And he was like, oh, yeah. So,
I don't think he really did.
Now they play together. No, that's what happened.
Really?
Yeah, like he tried to copyright it, went through the official channels.
No, I know that, but I don't think it was already copyrighted. I just think they said, no, you can't copyright that.
Okay. You're wrong, but okay.
Okay.
And, they have a excellent corner in Rhodes, top tier 1 corner. They have a...
Oh, quick story about him.
Sure.
About Rhodes. There was a big play today when they were doing the 11-on-11s.
It was a drill I was talking about. Had to score a touchdown in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And it wasn't even 2 minutes. It was like 1:25 is what they had on the clock.
Okay.
And Jameis throws a beautiful ball to Mike Evans.
Deep ball.
I mean, deep ball. Yeah. Like gets it way out in front of him. Mike Evans speeds up, grabs it, and just turns on the afterburners.
And they should have just given him the touchdown. But since somebody touched him, like down on the 10, they stopped it there. But he would have scored.
But I heard 3 or 4 of the Dolphins people around me were like, the best corner on our team just got roasted.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fan reaction. I mean, I had the
No, these are the media guys.
Okay, well, they're stupid too then. What do you want me to tell you? I saw one of the Dolphins media guys walking around in flip-flops.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, you're a little too casual for me, my friend. Like you're inside in a room that you're sharing space with a lot of people in a very tight space.
Right.
Cover your toes.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, it's like those people that I don't mind you taking your shoes off on an airplane. Just have extremely clean socks on.
Sure.
And don't put them up on the chair. But those people that go barefoot on the airplane and like walk around and then go in the bathroom like in bare feet and in socks, like that's just too much for me. And that's kind of like how I felt with that guy, Mr. Casual Flippity Floppity. Like you want to dress like that? Like go be a detective that kicked off the force unjustly.
So how about football?
What about football? That's all I got, man.
Football and flip flops.
It's just, that's all I got.
The alliteration is amazing today.
I mean, the offense was the offense.
Yeah.
I thought they looked good. I thought the defense looked good.
Yeah.
We've been told, and if you've been paying attention to the press conferences, that the Stars are going 1, maybe 2 series. So I guess we'll just kind of look for who's going to pop of these people that we've talked about, the Ledbetters, the O'Connors.
The ones really
the
did get quite a bit of work in today.
Oh yeah,
they really did. And that was what Bruce Arians said yesterday was if the ones didn't get so much work in this week, they would play more. But he feels like they've gotten enough work in at practice. He's not going to play them a whole lot in this.
Yeah.
So that's what he said yesterday, and it proved true today. He really did. They made the ones work quite a bit. So So Ren, I guess that's camp, buddy.
That is camp. I will be having a bonus episode. That's going to encompass, all the sound that I've gotten from fans and various other people. I will put that out sometime before the start of the season.
All right.
And I'm just not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably going to, cut it up and make people look stupid. So, because, that's my thing.
Right.
But I'm not sure. I don't know.
You can direct all emails to rendaxt@thepewtercast@gmail.com.
Yes, that fictitious account exists. I swear to God. All right, so that's it.
Here's the thing. I think leading out of camp and out of all these things, at this point, I'm kind of leaving camp the way that I came into camp. The proof is going to be in the pudding. When we get to the season and the players are playing and everything counts, that's when we'll really know what we have.
What kind of pudding?
Huh?
What kind of pudding?
Cornish pudding.
Oh, God. The proof is in the Cornish pudding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe chocolate.
Rolls off the tongue. There we go. Let's unalienate some people. Cornish. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
What flavor of pudding? Peacock. Peacock flavor. Orange berry burst.
That sounds delicious to me, actually.
Yeah, it's probably a Slurpee somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yo.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Do I give a final thought?
Yeah, it's your show, man.
Is it? Is it really, Brent? Final thought. I don't have one, man. The proof is going to be in the Cornish pudding.
There you go.
There's my final thought.
There you go. That's the next slogan that's going on the next round of Pewtercast t-shirts.
Is it?
The proof is in the Cornish pudding.
Yeah. And about 500 people will get it. All right, you can find...
No, that is not true. Way more than 500 people listen to your show, my friend.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to run into every single person that listens to the show.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to get out of here again.
Yeah.
You can find me. Best place to find me is on Twitter, @Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers. Football.
And if you get in touch with me, you want to be able to hear what I actually have to say, you can find me at Brent Allen Live on Twitter and on Facebook, Instagram, all those places. And you can get in touch with the show at the Pewtercast on Twitter and on Facebook. Email the show to thepewtercast@gmail.com. We will read that on an upcoming episode of the Pewtercast. And until next time, my friends,
yes,
go Bucks.
Okay, sorry. Cut.
All right, everybody, that's it. It's officially over. The 2019 version of Rens Training Camp Journal is in the books. I'll be putting out that bonus episode, as you heard at the end of the body of the show there, but you can catch me and Brent on the Pewtercast and Mothership, so to speak. We're gonna be going 4 times a week this season, as we do every season, and that's it. See you soon. This is the end.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end of